and also like the Euros, they're going to need a rest when they come back, are they not? And let's hope they come back injury free. I'm even worried about the international break right now. We're on a run. They're going off. I pray and every night that every single Arsenal player comes back injury free. Loose, just to kind of dovetail what Jess is saying, we've seen Nuno come in for Tierney. We've seen Lokonga come in and do well. We've seen these players kind of perform over a period of games. Football works really mysteriously sometimes. Sports does. If you're a big name, you automatically get to come back after you've been injured. We've seen that before, even with our team. Would you keep Nuno running right now? Would you bring Tierney back in? What's your take on the Tierney thing, who's our Braveheart and our Tesco bag carrier that everyone's loved and lauded for so long? Rightly so, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, Tierney, you can't discredit him. He's a great player. There's been many occasions where he's made a huge difference to our games, and I love him. But the fact is, obviously, you'd have to drop Nuno, and I just don't see that as a beneficial thing. I feel like we're on this run. We've got the momentum. He's been playing really well, and I think, obviously, if we can rotate them, maybe see it as an opportunity to bring Tierney back slowly. So starting Tavares and then bringing Tierney on later on in the game, just to give him some game time, but also not force it on him almost immediately and have to sort of like take Nuno out of his stride in a way. I feel like that would be maybe the way to go about it. But like you said, it's difficult when Tierney was so massively consistent for us before, and then obviously the injury came along, and Nuno really stepped up to the plate more so. So it's a difficult situation, not one that I'd really like to be put in, but let's see how Arteta handles it, to be honest.
This is a really good test for him as a manager, and also for us as fans to see kind of, I think when you find a winning formula, you let that run until someone gets injured or something,
Absolutely.
Kind of happens in a game. I want to switch gears, MK, and get into some other subjects here with you guys. I was going to talk about ESR, but I'm going to save that because we're on a roll with how the team is playing and stuff like that. The biggest Achilles heel for Arsenal over the last few seasons, and we've all screamed about it, is the defence. And to see the defence evolve the way it is. Everyone ridiculed the signing of Ramsdale. I correct myself. Some ridiculed the signing of Ramsdale. Some ridiculed the signing of Ben White before they'd even kicked a ball or played for the Arsenal. Hold your mayo, okay, like I said earlier. Don't criticise anyone until they've worn the shirt, played a little bit of football. The defence with Tomiyasu as well, who, by the way, when we signed, everyone also kind of some melted about who is this. A lot of people don't watch Syria, and a lot of people aren't in touch with European football. But it's incredible. A name goes up and you're like, yeah, let's sign him, but you've never seen him play. Even Gary Neville ridiculed us. Jamie Carragher. A lot of people pointed the finger at Arsenal. What are they doing? What is their policy? Now, here we are, where this backline is forming a partnership, a relationship, a communication, unlike anything we've seen in years. Ramsdale is at the core of that, but the relationship as well between Gabriel and Ben White that is emerging, for me, is one of the most exciting things in this team. The midfield is evolving too. You lose Thomas Partey, you put in Maitland-Niles with Lokonga. Everyone was worried about that, but they performed. Now, whether or not they can do that game after game after game will be interesting to see. The forward line, to me, is the one that needs to catch up. Talk to me a little bit about what the beauty is about our defence right now and the evolution of our midfield.
The beauty is that there's no Mustafi at 4:30 in the morning waiting for me at the pub. Okay, that's because we can't get drink served until 6 a.m. and that's been very difficult these past few years, having to sit there sober and watch Mustafi play. So that's beautiful in and of itself. But yeah, I think Ben White has been an amazing signing. I think it's funny how all these people were quick to, what it is? It's just FIFA kids that are in all of these social media chats that are basically informing their views of football based on who they know because they picked them up in their ultimate team. And that's not how real life works. Everyone was like, well, Varane is great, because he's a French national. Look what Manchester United was able to accomplish. He's old. no one, you know, I mean, Arsenal is building a young future, and that's going to take time. And I think you're starting to see that partnership form. It does look like Saliba is going to come back once he's done with his loan spell. And I think that, you know, the defensive line is really improved by, you know, by playing together regularly for like the first time in, you know, that I can think of. Certainly during Arteta, there's been so many injuries, and I think Tomiyasu has been outstanding. I think that I was one of those people that was like, who is this? And there was that temptation to kind of wanted to sound off about it, but I'm like, but I don't know anything, right? And I think that's what this comes down to. It's like sometimes you just have to be like, I don't know, and I'm just not going to speak here and make myself look like an idiot. But social media and that don't always go together. So, you know,
Yeah,
I think
no, it's true. It's true. Jess, talk to me a little bit about the partnership you see formulating with Gabriel and Ben White, because so many people talked about Ben White. He's terrible in the air. You know, Gabriel strong in the air. The ball carrying of Ben White, I hope some Arsenal fans have seen an example of that, especially in the last 2 games. To me, they complement each other so well. And I'm going to use an example, but please don't take it in the spirit of which I'm saying it. I'm not saying they're as good as them yet. They haven't won anything like that yet. But it's that Vidic Ferdinand combo, right? I'm just talking about the players and their personas and their characteristics. Tell me what you see and how Tomiyasu helps complement that, and how the left side does too.
Yeah, I think that, well, the evolution of our defense has started way before these players even became Arsenal players. You know, I think Gabriel, he was the first piece of this, or actually Tierney was the first piece of this, but it was prior to Arteta even being manager. And then they brought in Gabriel. The issue with Gabriel is that it was his first season at Arsenal, and he was given a couple of different, you know, partners, some good, some not so good, David Luiz, Rob Holding, to name, you know, 2 of them. And then Pablo Mari was in and out. But last season, our defense wasn't an issue. You know, I think that there's this myth that we've been bad. Like, our defense was not an issue last season. It was the inconsistencies going forward. You know, everything that's wrong with us at the moment is midfield and forward dependent. Like, our defense has been decent since Arteta's been here. And now we've just increased the technical ability of the people that are playing back there. You know, Ben White is an upgrade on Rob Holding. Tomiyasu is an upgrade on Bellerin and a completely different profile. You have Tomiyasu, who just stays a little bit further back so that we can play that inverted back line where, you know, Tierney / Tavares can go way forward, and we play kind of in a back 3. And what I like about them, especially Tomiyasu and Ben White, is that they're 2-footed. You know, so when they get pressured from one side, they can just switch the ball with whatever foot, you know, and that's something that we haven't had. Their technical ability is levels above what we've had. Yep. And it just reminds me of the fundamental, like, philosophy of, like, managers like Pep. And I don't think Arteta's like Pep in terms of, like, his level, but in terms of making sure that his players have 2 feet, you know, that's important. And Ben White and Gabriel are building a partnership that I personally think could be really special. You know, I think Vidic and Rio is a very good comparison, but I think technically they're better than those 2 players. Like, they just are. Gabriel's technical passing has improved a lot. A lot of people were saying he was just this rash, physical defender. No, he can pass. He can switch the ball. Yeah. He can dribble out of the back, and Ben White can do that as well. Ben White can't head the ball. Well, yeah, he can. He's a pretty good defender, and he's one of those anticipatory defenders, which makes him, like, he's not going to do last-ditch tackles all the time. He just anticipates the ball, and great recruitment, you know, and these are 24 and 23-year-olds. Yeah. Just imagine what they could be in the next 3-4 years. Add Saliba in there.